respect that.
Yeah.
Let's try this now. Hey, everybody, welcome to the first ever episode of the Real Agent Show, where we interview real agents making a difference in their community and the industry. I am Brett Baker, and with me today is Randy Carroll, strategic partner and channel manager at Chime Technologies. Randy's on the front line of the IDX and CRM space and has a background in broadcast and electronic media. In other words, our topic today is literally up Randy's alley. So, speaking of our topic today, we are all familiar with what is going on right now in North America with COVID-19 and the stay-at-home orders that many states really have in place. This has taken an enormous toll on restaurants and businesses, and when those businesses do poorly, the economy dips, thus having a negative impact on the real estate market. Our guest today is Ben Meyer, a real estate agent from Wichita, Kansas. Ben runs Team Home Hero with ERA Great American Realty and has managed to build a Facebook group with over 32,000 members in about a week and a half during COVID-19. So today we're going to talk to Ben about how he built his group, the reasons he built his group, and most importantly, how he's planning to leverage that down the road. Ben, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brett. Never done anything like this before, so it's exciting.
Sweet deal, man. Well, hey, we're gonna dive right in this because there's so much to unpack here. 32,000. I'm on your page right now. 32,539 members, and you started it last Tuesday. So
Yep.
what, a week and 3 days?
Yep. Started at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I think by like 11:30, I had 4,000 people in there. That's when I knew I was just like, this thing taking off,
right?
just going.
So
I might have something here.
Yeah, right. This is a good thing. Okay, so tell me why you wanted to start. Like, what was the premise behind starting the group?
I actually got the idea from another realtor that I saw doing it, and I saw a little bit better way to do it and go out and support my community. And I saw that idea, and then I saw your video about getting out and supporting your local community, using your marketing and promo skills for good. People remember people who help out in times of crisis. They need leaders right now and people who are willing to run towards the fire, not away from it and scared. And I was like, that's exactly what I'm made for. And so I kind of took a hodgepodge of all the skills and things that I learned from funnels and SEO and Facebook and social media and put this group together called Wichita Food to Go during COVID-19. And I use those words strategically, just like you would in a search keyword when people go look for that. And then I also pinned right to the top of the group, here's how you can do your part. See that invite button right over the right? While you're sitting at home, go add all your friends and share the word about everybody that's open within our community. Also made a little 2-minute video that kind of explained my intentions with this and made it completely not about me at all or about real estate or anything related, strictly community based, and how these small businesses are, get asked all the time to help with your little league teams, with charity, all kinds of stuff. And they ask to be to support the community. And it's our turn for the community to support them back, to keep them going. And that's what really makes, communities and real estate and locations and things like that special and unique, is all those, unique local things that are special to the community and also the people behind them. And I think that's the biggest thing that people want to support, where you've seen real good engagement with the videos, is the people and their story and who they are and where their heart is and that kind of thing. And that's what makes cities awesome. And that's why so many people bought into it, because they saw like, hey, this isn't about me or you or any one of us. It's the greater good of what we're doing. And everybody sitting at home could feel like, I'm a part of this. I did this. I helped build that group.
Right.
They all want to click in there. So I sat there and I added all 2,800 of my friends and went there and just sat there for a while, like hitting the invite button. And 600 of them joined. And from those 600, got another 600. And that's how it just, exponentially grew. So
sure.
Fighting a virus with the virus.
I was going to say, so you got your first members just by inviting friends.
Yep.
Okay. Now I'm going to try to share my screen here really fast, because I really want people to see kind of what you've done here. So I'll share this right now. So this is his actual Wichita Food to Go during COVID-19 group.
Yeah.
And dude, the engagement on this is what is just so remarkable to me. I mean, you have a ton of engagement. So
Yeah.
how are you getting people to engage? Because there have been other people that, that have tried to do stuff similar to this, and the engagement rate is really, really low. Your engagement rate, I mean, dude, first of all, here's the big number right here, 32,589 members. But when you scroll through here, people are posting, and this isn't stuff that you're prompting. New members are doing stuff. How did you get so much engagement?
So part of it is at the very start of it, I said, everybody, I just made it a free for all. I didn't restrict any of it. I didn't say that you had to like do anything. I just let it go, let it just go wild. And people want to share and do all these things. And it's one of the most attractive things is food. So you put food out there and people want to engage with that and help out. And, they're sitting at home anyway, so might as well be doing something and supporting your local community. I also started doing local video spotlights where I will go actually and interview the owner on the spot with that. And then also when I do that, I will go share it to all the strategic Facebook groups I'm in around the area, like for sale places, classifieds, advertising, like there's a bunch of them. Those groups are huge. And so it's grabbing from those areas too and bringing more people into that group. And that's how you're getting so many people to engage and share and post and all that. So that's one way I'm doing it. I think also what was strategic about it is before all this even happened, I was tracking my engagement on my friends list, and I was only keeping the people that were interacting, engaging with my stuff. Every happy birthday day, they'd either get a happy birthday or they get deleted, like one of the two, based on, as many Facebook lead, friends list, just like any marketing database you would anywhere, and the more they comment and share, the more they see it. So the ones who did engage showed up to more of their friends list, and it just kept going with that. So, and I made it a community effort to where like, I don't really police it or monitor it. I kind of enlisted the help of everyone else to be like, hey, we're all doing this together. It's not about me. Like, I need your help. If there's bad content, there's bad stuff, anything like that, report it and I'll take care of it. But otherwise, like, we're all running this thing together. And so I think I got buy-in from the community of how they could make a difference and participate with this whole thing.
So let me get this straight. You don't moderate that at all? That's all self-moderated?
That's all self-moderated. I mean, people report stuff if there's cuss words or whatever. I just came out with some rules like on Friday.
Yeah.
And everybody, for the most part, has been really good about following them and, having the right intentions for doing this thing. And it's kind of like that mob rule mentality, like, and it's a good, goodwill type of group. And if you're not like that, like, you'll get booted real fast. Like,
yeah, unbelievable.
So how did you set up that kind of culture, right? Because sometimes it's great when it turns out this way, but oftentimes when you let the inmates run the prison, it gets run like a prison, right?
Yep.
So what kind of precedents did you start with?
I think it was that 2-minute video that I made from the start where I really poured out the intentions of this group and the heart of it. I was genuine with that because I genuinely believe that from my core. It's not just like, hey, I'm trying to do this thing and you can read through it because you're trying to get a bunch of marketing and exposure and all that. I genuinely just wanted our community to get exposure for a lot of reasons, not just for the food to go thing, but it's also like, these are all the local places. I really believe in our local restaurateurs and business owners and mom and pops, that small business owner, entrepreneur who put it all on the line to serve the people in their community. And that's what it's really about, is that like mindset of culture. And people get that and understand. It's just, they don't know about it. They don't have the exposure. They don't have the big marketing budget. They rely strictly on word of mouth, which is what social media is. And so these people, like, I love those people. It's my turn to go help them. I remember when they supported my charity event or my Little League team, or they did this for me or that for me. And also, the more you get into these stories of these people, you realize how tied in they are to the community. About like, I remember when this place was open back in 1973, and I'd come in here with my whoever, whatever, and they don't want to see those people go away. So they're doing their part to have a good culture to continue to keep going. So I don't know if it's so much necessarily what I did as much as just a testament to how awesome the Wichita community is with how much they support each other and local small businesses and entrepreneurs. It's been one of the best cities to start a small business and entrepreneurship. Like Pizza Hut started here, for example, and a lot of big, good chains like that did, and a lot of restaurants and entrepreneurs. So it's part of Wichita's culture already. I just put it on blast.
So it's funny that you bring up the Wichita part of this. So the crazy part of this, for those of you that don't know, and I had to Google this before I even got on this call with Ben. So if you look at the population in Wichita, Ben right now has almost 12% of the population of Wichita in his Facebook group.
Yeah.
So if you've
That's
ever tried to
wild.
if you ever tried to build a Facebook group before and you're like, wow, I have a lot of people in here, and then you look at your community size, you're like, man, I'm just this small fish. He's not a small fish, and you did this in a week and a half, which is just mind blowing. The truth is, though, what we need to kind of unpack a little bit is you have marketing past. You have to, because if you look at your Facebook business page, you've got, I mean, arguably one of the best put together Facebook business pages I've seen. You also have an incredible website. You really have put a lot together, and it shows. I mean, you have a good amount of people following you on your Facebook business page, but what's cool about what you're doing here is you're focusing 100% on the restaurant. You're not coming out and saying like, hey, yeah, you wear your team shirt in your Facebook lives. That's it. Like, you really haven't pushed that, and that really makes me happy. When are you, or are you ever going to tie this into your business at some point, or are you just going to make this a massive community group?
Well, first off, I got to give credit where credit is due, because I learned a lot from you and following you and your groups and what you did with building just strictly brand equity and social goodwill with people, and how much that overpowers everything. And so it's like, you really can't have this attitude of it's about me and what do I get from it, because it'll come back to you if you give absolutely and everything that's out there. So I do have a marketing background from following awesome people like you, and a lot of the things that I've learned from a business coaching and life coaching stuff. And so, yes, I do have a marketing background. And so, like, I've been working on something like this for a while. It just happened to blow up overnight, which is kind of how it goes. Like, took me, 4 years to be an overnight sensation type of thing. One of those classic stories.
Sure.
The plan for it going forward is even when all this is over, I still want to make sure that it's a point that when this is over and we're able to go back out and support these businesses, we need to continue to do so for all the waitresses, waiters, bartenders, servers, all this stuff. Like, it's just as important when this is over to keep blowing it up, keep supporting it all. And eventually, long term, when it all gets far enough away, it'll just be Wichita Food and Booze is what it'll change to. And then it's just highlighting local restaurants, similar to your Spotlight on Tri-Cities thing.
Sure.
You're just getting the culture and the community of the city out there, which is most arguably why people buy where they buy houses at more than anything. And it shows you as the actual market expert beyond the numbers of real estate, and actually knowing like the intricacies, sorry, I can't speak, of neighborhoods, communities and all that. And it's like, they want that guy more than anything. And also, I'm local. I'm from here too. You'd rather support me than some big wig, whoever guy who's not even in your community. I'm here, and it goes all right into it. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So you and Brett have a marketing background, but let's unpack this a little bit for some of the people who don't necessarily have a marketing background, or maybe their brain is more analytical than it is marketing. So let's break this down into the ABCs of how you get started. Did you have a specific connection within the local restaurant community, and that's why you decided to go down that path? Or
I didn't even know all these business owners or restaurant owners beforehand. I maybe knew like one or two of them, but before then, like, I didn't know them whatsoever. I just knew the concept of how to create a group, because I've created a few groups before and tried this before. And so it's not like this is like the first time I ever tried it. And so I kind of got familiar with how to create a group, and then I tagged a few like local radio stations on the backside of it and some other things like that. But I kept it really as simple as possible, because that's how things scale, is when you keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate this thing. Get people involved and get them a part of this idea. And I think just the fact of just food in general, people love sharing pictures of food and how good this was and that kind of thing, and the experience that goes with it. And it's one of the most viral things by itself is food pictures. Like, what do people take pictures of all the time is food. What do they like to talk about is food, like, all the time. So it's like, use that to blow that up as just a place where you can actually have discussion about it. Because that's, I think, the biggest thing is that you could actually talk and interact with this thing compared to like other groups where they're real restrictive or real defined, or a blog where it's just like, okay, read some stuff. With this, they get to actually like participate with it all.
Yeah, go into some of the advantages of a Facebook group, versus like a blog or an Instagram post or something.
I think the biggest thing is that you're not trying to be the author and the expert. You're just the facilitator. You're the source of the information that provides the platform to, like, the subject to talk about, and you just facilitate it and let people, engage and participate. And I think that's the key to this, is actual back and forth community empathy, of actually having a conversation back and forth with everything, and I'm active in there. I'm liking everything and commenting. I'm doing things there too, just like I'm part of the group. So I'm not trying to be the guy or the thing or whatever. It's about the community and just providing an experience. I just want to have a big party and talk about food. Like,
see, now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were on the news.
Yep.
How'd that go? How did it go after you were on the news? Did you see an uptick? What happened? How did you get on the news? Let's start there.
The news guy reached out to me, so I didn't even do any of that. It started out a little bit that I added my friends, and I started to reach out to some people, but more than anything, people just caught on and saw it and said, hey, you need to talk to so-and-so, hey, you need to talk to so-and-so, and just a young reporter saw the virality of it, and they're kind of already doing an article on it, so he threw it in there and interviewed how I got it and how it worked, and I wouldn't say, surprisingly, it did that much to the growth. It was already growing by itself. So TV didn't really boost the growth of it. It was mainly all just organic and social virality. So
yeah, I think that actually was driving a point that I was going to make even better. Just because you don't get on TV, whoa, there I go. I'm like all foggy now. Just because you don't get on TV, you don't get that quote national exposure, doesn't mean you can't have a successful group. I see so many people that are like, well, but you got on the news and you got this and you had a radio station talking about you. You don't need that. And I think so many people get wrapped up in it. You have to provide good content. You need to stick with what you are, your topic. Yours is food, very easy topic to stick with. But it's very simple. Keep it simple, and you've done that, and it really shows.
Yeah.
I'm still blown away, man. 32,000. I remember when you started, you're like, I'm at 4,000, and the next day is like, I'm at 7,000. It's like, how?
Well, I'll say never waste a good crisis. I saw the opportunity and I struck on it. So
no kidding. And so your big picture really is you want to turn this into a community group, kind of like what I did with Spotlight on Tri-Cities.
Yeah, specifically food and booze, just
food and booze. Okay, so that's actually, so I was going to say, I have 3 tips for you going forward, okay? And so my 3 tips are, the first is continue to give, right? Yep. Continue to make this group all about those that are in need and the restaurants that you're helping. So far, I've seen it, dude, and this is crazy because as right before we hopped on this call, you went Facebook Live with a business owner. And I'm watching it, and you had like 153 people on your Facebook Live watching it. And we're not talking like just watching. Dude, they were watching. Your comments were streaming in like you were a news station. I'm just sitting there watching like, holy crap, dude, that is nuts. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting in front of those people. Once this whole thing is over, I like your idea of spinning this into a spotlight style group, right? I think you should go interview the restaurants that you've helped through the pandemic. Okay. Yeah. I think a lot of people are afraid of changing group names. Don't be afraid of changing your group name. I love that. Wichita. What did you say? Wichita Food and Booze?
Food and Booze. Because there's a lot of craft breweries and local brewers that have started around here, and that's a big thing around here. But obviously, that's not as important right now as food is.
Right.
Like it will be.
I think that is phenomenal. I was going to say you can always do something like Discovering Wichita, but I like yours even more because you're going to stick with the theme, which is restaurants, bars, craft breweries, etc. I would get in front of those owners of the restaurants and I would talk with all of them, just like I was doing on Spotlight on Tri-Cities. You're going to do this to continue your focus on them. Yeah. By you getting in front of the camera, people are going to start noticing who you are, and they'll start putting 2 and 2. You don't have to say like, dude, I'm a real estate agent. You don't have to do that because people are going to start knowing who you are right off the bat. They're going to start recognizing you. Yep. Okay. So the way you can actually turn this group into something that is starting to say, here's who I am and here's what I do. Facebook has now allowed groups to have sponsorship. So you can actually have a sponsor in your group. Now, personally, I would not ever I would never have someone pay me for sponsorship in a group. I think that will start defeating the purpose. What you can do, though, is have your Team Home Hero sponsor your Facebook group. And I think that would go a long way. People will start recognizing, oh, okay, it's going to keep the group on point and on focus. It's going to be helping the community, but it's going to allow your business to be noticed more.
Yep.
But I don't want you to rush this. Okay. So many people that I see try to do groups, as soon as they get traction, they're like, now look at me. It's like, no. Keep it very much about your group.
Yeah.
I would wait until like months after this is over. Now you can start doing a little bit more with it. You can start announcing yourself on your videos a little bit clearer and what you do. Once you start doing these videos, you can start saying like, I'm a real estate agent with blah, 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 blah. Our focus is on the community. Make it very community oriented, but you can start kind of slowly integrating yourself into it. Finally, the last way, go ahead, Randy, you're going to say something.
Oh, well, I was simply going to say you're answering the question that I haven't actually even asked yet, which is great, but I'm sure there's more, so I want to pull it out of you. Question being, you've got this group, and Ben yourself has done a great job giving. I can imagine there's a point where you keep giving and people out there, people listening are going to get nervous to start pitching themselves or making themselves known professionally. How do you walk that line, and what are some of those activities? You know, you mentioned sponsoring, which is seemingly new, but what was it that you were doing in order to introduce the business side of this, in order to start getting some opportunities out of this group that you've given so much to?
I think so. I'll take this for a second, because when I started Spotlight on Tri-Cities, it was very much a, here's who I am, here's what I do. But I care so much about this community that here I am volunteering my time, my money, basically the publicity that I had. The way that I looked at it was, these companies could not afford to hire someone to come in and do a commercial for them. I was shooting them a commercial, is basically what I was doing. At the same time, I was introducing myself into it, where it was as a busy real estate agent here in the Tri-Cities area, I am always on the go trying to find new restaurants and discover new places. So I tied it right in, like, I'm a busy real estate agent. I'm always on the go. Here's what I'm trying to do. But I never, ever really, truly made it about me. And the reason is, people would see it like, oh, he's Brett with the Baker team. Okay, cool. We did enough residual advertising that people knew what that was. And so I didn't have to go too into it. Ben, you've done a lot with, I'm looking at your Facebook business page here, which, by the way, his Facebook business page, the Wichita Food to Go page, those are all going to be in the links of this video. I want you guys to go see those. I'm also going to put your 2-minute video in there as well. I want people to watch that as well. I thought that was one of the best videos you could have done. But I think as you move forward, I think a lot of people are afraid of saying, like, here's what I do. There are ways to do that. So one way you can do that is you can actually have I'm trying to think of how to word this to you. You can use retargeting in your group. And what you do is, the ad that you run with retargeting, hey, you've probably seen me talk to business owners, talk to restaurant owners about their business and how they're helping Wichita. I'm Ben with Team Home Hero. Like, I am here to help you with your real estate needs, just like I help these businesses with their restaurants. Simple stuff like that. You can run retargeting ads to them all the time. I'm here to lift up Wichita. I'm here to lift up the community. Those are the kind of retargeting ads you can use. And those ads, by the way, can be run with the advertisement as a group. So you can literally use your group as an audience.
Yeah.
Best part about that, it's not a custom audience. It doesn't get treated the same way a custom audience will get treated. So what that means for you is you can run that a little bit more direct, because Facebook is really limited on how we can do stuff. And so now you can run that a little bit more direct. Make it still like hey, you recognize me from the group. Here's the way I'm involved in the community. Just so you know, I also sell real estate. And that's really what I'm here to do. It's a little bit, you have to be very careful about how you do this. Before you do anything, send me one of your videos and let me watch it before you do it. Because in the first ones, you want to make it very clear, like, I am here to help this community. Yep. Start there.
Yeah. Well, I think I've realized that more than anything, like, why certain houses go for more in certain areas is because of the neighborhood communities, because of all these small businesses, the restaurants that are close, the businesses that are close, the development, all that stuff. I realize how much we're all tied in this together, and like locations go up in value because of all these restaurants and amenities and all those things go with it. So it's like, I need those to grow so that I can grow too. So go apply my marketing and promo skills. And I tell people, like, I'm a business coach who just happens to be in real estate. Like, I'm not really like a cool realtor. Like, I just love marketing and sales, and I happen to do it in real estate. I can do it anywhere though, as you can see.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely perfect. Randy, do you have any questions for him as we wrap this up?
Let's see. We answered a lot of them already. While you were going through this, what did you encounter that was unexpected?
That is a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a straightforward question or if that's a confusing question, but I would imagine going and starting a Facebook group is pretty straightforward process, right?
Yeah.
Anyone could do it, I imagine.
There's a couple things that come to mind. I don't think they're really a huge deal. I mean, they are and they aren't. Like, a little bit, I had to be mindful of the fact that, like, some people gave me some flack because I was sitting right next to one of the business owners one time, and they're like, "You need to be 6 foot away. You need to be wearing a mask." And I'm like, okay. Like, you don't want it to hurt you there. And then also just how nasty people can get with some of this stuff, and how much they'll just sit there and bicker and argue in there. And like, one guy tried to get me involved in between like two business, like, nutrition places were having a dispute. And I kind of told him, I was like, keep it civil, keep me out of it. I don't want to stay, like, get in the middle of whatever your debacle is. Just keep it out of the group. And for the most part, like, everybody's been pretty positive. So I guess I expected a bunch of crap to go on, and it didn't. And so I was kind of surprised by that so many people were so positive and they left good reviews, because I made that as one of the reviews. It's like, good reviews only. It's like, I'm not saying we don't need honest, bad reviews, but this is not the time for it. Like, we only need good promo for everything. So I was kind of surprised, I guess, of how well, everybody followed the rules and got along and, like, worked together for it all. That'd be the most surprising, unexpected thing on it all.
I mean, I'm about to call your group like the Woodstock of Facebook groups. Like, everybody's getting along, which is because I've gone through comment after comment after comment. I'm sitting there like, holy crap, I really thought you were doing a lot of moderation. I really did. And turns out you aren't, which is remarkable.
If they report it, I'll delete it. Like, if it's got cuss words or just ridiculous stuff, but there really hasn't been a lot on there.
I mean, if you, as we wrap up here, like, how would you recommend someone get started? Like, if you had to do this all over again today, and you had someone saying like, hey, what would you do all over again? How would you do it?
Yeah, no, I've had a few people ask me that. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to help you with this, because I want to see communities and realtors win with their heart in the right place, and this is how to do it. So if I had to start back over and do it all, I think the biggest piece of this is making sure you have a solid friends list yourself to start with, because if you don't start with it right there with the quality database, you don't have a good audience already. It doesn't matter how good of an idea or what you have, it's not going to catch on. So I would start now to start building your audience of your personal friends list, whether you do a group or not, period, for marketing. Use that, monitor it just like you would any other marketing database. Then go create the group and provide value, because you could do this with anything. It doesn't have to be food and booze. It's whatever's niche specific that people are going to catch on to, that you can be, the party haver, as if you want to put it that way, to start it and just get people engaged. Because that's where social media and marketing, everything's going, is niche, small-minded focus. Like, you don't need 30,000 people in there. You need 2,000 engaged people who like what you want and want to see it. And so I'd say get as narrow and specific as you can with it, and search keywords if you can on Google of what people are already looking for or what people are already interested in, and just create a party around it and get people involved and participate there. So I think do a little bit of research on the back end of what people are already looking for. So
have you marketed this group to your database? Have you sent this out in any form of mass communication to people outside of the Facebook domain?
Just Facebook. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot more things I could do to stoke this fire, but I don't really have to. It's going on its own. So
I was going to say, I mean, as soon as Randy brought that up, I'm like, God, why didn't I even think of that? I mean, that's something you could send out so easily. Like, hey, we're out here doing our part. Join the group. Help us out if you have any recommendations. Randy, that is a really good idea.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea. Leverage that database. But
I got 3,300 more leads in my database that I can email this all out to and text you and all that. So,
absolutely.
Well, Randy, do you have any further
because,
questions, or are you feeling it?
I'm feeling it. I think this was great. We got a solid, half hour here. These were some really good nuggets. The beauty of this is there's no excuse not to at this point in time, right? There's no reason to not do this. When you go and travel to conferences and you hear from a bunch of speakers, you take a bunch of notes that you never read again, probably lose on your way home. People get back to their home, to their city, and never really do any of it. You are in your home right now. In certain states, you have to be in your home or you get fined for leaving, like Atlanta now. You have no excuse not to take advantage of this. Be your Brett in your market or Ben in your market. You're missing out on a huge opportunity if you're not.
I could not agree more with that. Could not agree more. Ben, I just wanted to say thank you, man, for first of all, for being on the show. Second of all, for doing what you're doing. We as an industry, we've had a pretty tough last 10 years. I think a lot of people get the thought that, we're all used car salesmen. We're not. And you're proving it. You're helping turn the view of real estate agents around. Like, hey, look, when the community's hurting, we're here to help your community because we're a business in the community. And I think really this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, this should, I'm so glad you made the news with this. I'm so glad that this is doing well because this is such a boost in your community. So bravo to you, man. This is super cool. Hopefully people took a lot out of this. And even if you don't do something just like what Ben is doing, do something that is going to help your community, because the more you help your community, the better your community's economy does, the better you do as a business. We're all small businesses, so we have to help each other out. So thank you for joining in. Ben, thank you for being here. Randy, thanks for joining in, and we will see you guys on the next show. Take care.
I'll take it easy.